You need to be an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, meaning you're inside an entrepreneur, inside a business where you're the entrepreneurial entrepreneur. But an entrepreneur finds a problem. Goodness gracious, there's never been more. There's 8 billion of them. I mean,
yes.
Find a problem, fix it, scale it, make a vast profit. That's what an entrepreneur does. And he or she employs a lot of people. What we taught in 1 Minute Millionaire. What we taught in 1 Minute Millionaire is if you're a millionaire, you employ 10 immediately like that. If you're a billionaire, you employ 10,000. And all you got to do is look at Amazon and you see they got 380,000. So the numbers are true almost even if you're a software business, even if you're a retail business.
Love it, what you just say, because I think if everybody aspired to get bigger and better and growth, we are giving so many other people lives, chance to really live their dreams. Which is true. Yeah.
We get, gosh, this doesn't sound braggadocious. I got to be careful. There's not a day. We believe you start every day with prayer and meditation together for an hour because that's what keeps a real marriage glued. We learned at the beginning of our life, like we said in one ask, the head of Billy Graham Ministries told us to do that. But what happens is daily we have people say, "You're just what I needed. You saved my life." And that's what our goal is. You say, well, you make a lot of money because you sell so many books. Well, we do that, but we also are some of the biggest philanthropists, at least here in Arizona, if not America, because of a lot of things. But everybody is supposed to earn all they can, save all they can, invest all they can, and then give all they can. And give, even if you just got what you're doing, give a smile, that's good. If you give a wink, sometimes that's what's needed. If you give encouragement, because we think, and the reason we wrote Ask is because we think people are feeling depressed, despondent, disheartened, and get stuck in what we call the 7 roadblocks, which I want to go into if that's okay with you.
I would love to. Definitely. And God knows we need it. We need it. With the Ukraine, war going on, with all the things, and the COVID just getting finished and everything. Please take us there. Yeah.
So you're right, Vinney. We need to feed ourselves. And right now, just through COVID, it has been so disheartening and discouraging for so many people. And Mark and I found, as we researched this book, that people really do have roadblocks. And we talk about those roadblocks to asking. These roadblocks keep us stuck in these positions and don't allow us to ask for what we want, what we really deserve in this life. And of course, the first one is unworthiness. I think that's the most profound roadblock. And it's just sort of that conditioning from our childhood that tells us at some subtle level, usually that we're not enough. We're not quite good enough. And we don't even register it at the conscious level. That's the thing. That's why we really take some time on this in the book, because you have to start by recognizing what it is, what your roadblocks are, so you can move past them. The second one is naivete. And I'll tell you, it's an important one. People don't think about it, but you don't know what you don't know. I tell the story of when my 2 daughters were little. They're just 16 months apart. So we had this beautiful Filipino woman who moved in with us to help take care of the children. She would cook these wonderful dishes from her homeland all the time. And one day she showed up with this like beautiful orange fruit and cut it up on a plate and said, "Try this, Crystal." And I bit into it and I was like, "This is delicious. Melda, what is it?" She goes, "It's a mango." And I said, "A mango? How come I've never tasted a mango before?" Because I thought I was so worldly. I'd traveled all throughout Europe, been to Mexico a bunch of times. And I was like, how did I miss the mangoes? And I go, "Where did you get this? Did you import it from the Philippines?" And she goes, "No, I got it at the grocery store."
I love mangoes, by the way. Mangoes are amazing. Yes.
They're amazing. I'm like, I've just been walking past them. Why? Because I'm naive that they even exist. I was a girl who grew up in Idaho where we had lots of potatoes, but no mangoes. And we're all, subject to our own limitations of how we grew up, our cultural norms. So often we're not looking, our eyes, we're naive.
Yes.
We're naive. We don't understand that person that we just walked by and didn't even notice might be your next best friend, your next advocate, someone you could collaborate with. And, just that opportunity that you're just blowing past because you're just naive. You're not aware. So it made me realize that I need to get out of my own naivete and start asking, start wondering. Wonder and curiosity are part of the asking journey. We need to wonder, who is this? What is this? What might it be? What might it bring me? That's that beautiful curiosity that we all came to this world with, that we kind of, lost along the way. And then, we could talk about more, there's doubt, there's excuses, pattern paralysis, disconnection, fear. We can go into any one of those, Vinney. It takes, you tell me what you want to.
Sure. No, all those are so big blocks, aren't they? Oh my gosh. And even some people have more of one and the less of other. But I think you're so right. The biggest thing is the self-actualization, to really see how great human being you are at the core, because everybody was born equal, and the key thing is, I think the circumstances and all these things and peer groups and all make us different. They change our views. They change our self-worth. Let's say that. We just need to see that we are the best product of God, let's say, who made us to bring the best of the best in this world. You're so right. And overcoming those blocks will get us to a different person.
Right. You know what's funny, Vinney? I just wanted to say, we all came to this world as these perfect little uncorrupted askers called children, right? We were not afraid to ask. We're like, who, what, when, where, why? We wanted to know everything. We're not ashamed. And we also thought we were entitled to have everything. We wanted more, right? Because that's a little human spirit evolving. And then, depending on how you're parented, what happened at school, stop asking so many questions. I don't want to hear it anymore. Don't ask questions unless you're called on, and your opinion's not valued when you go on to work. You just do what you're told. And all of a sudden, that beautiful natural ability to ask that we all came here with is like crushed out of us. So we're inviting everybody to take the journey with us. Let's get that back. Let's rekindle.
I love it.
Our masterful asking.
I love it. This is perfect time for me to read. I got this printed books by Mark Victor Hansen. Guys, you might know just Chicken Soup for the Soul, but we got Chicken Soup for the Soul series, 254 different books in print. Then we got Ask the Bridge, we talked about today, right there, from the dreams to your destiny, the 1 Minute Millionaire. Thank you. And 1 Minute Millionaire, if you could show that too, please.
I have it at my office.
Okay. Terrific. And then, of course, cracking the Millionaires Club code. Then Cash in a Flash, and how to make the rest of your life the best of your life, the Aladdin Factor, the Dare to Win, the Richest Kids in America, the Miracle to Think, the Power of Focus, the Miracle in You, Out of the Blue, Master Motivator, You Are the Solution. Oh my gosh.
Hi, you are listening to Syndication Made Easy podcast. We will be right back after this short break.
Hi, thank you so much. This is Vinney Chopra, and thank you for subscribing to my podcast and YouTube channel and Facebook pages and all the great things, and LinkedIn. Connect with me. I come live to you every Friday at 9:30 Pacific with Vinney and Bo Show. Please also look at that. And also the podcast, which is my Apartment Syndication Made Easy. The book I wrote a couple of years back became international top seller on Amazon International now. And then we like to bring great guests for you every week or twice a week sometime to give you a lot of great knowledge. So please subscribe. You give us 5-star reviews on the iTunes. The better the guests we can bring, and our ranking will go higher also. Thanks again for following us and really getting the most out of it. Please comment, like, share, because we would love to bring better and better material for you. Oh my gosh. Brother.
I've never been in a podcast, Vinney, that somebody read my titles. There are 318 books. We've got a lot more. We got more books coming out in the next couple of months.
For sure. Hold on. I've got that list too.
Oh, no. You don't have to read it. Well,
not this one. Okay.
It's so exciting. Thank you.
I love it. And then I went on your academy. You have a terrific academy. You teach. Everybody's got a book in them. And I say that all the time. Everybody should write a book. That is so important to put it out, just to put it out for your family legacy. And, because we are such a creature that we can really have so much to give. Why not to? And I love that. Speed write your personal life story. Speed write your fiction book. Speed write your, mega book marketing. I mean, everything. I love it. I love it. Your first book. I mean, anybody listening to us, guys, I want you to really Google and go to the academy, because Mark and, Crystal will be able to teach you. And it's so powerful to put your ideas, your thinking in a book. And to be truthful, it's a it's a fearful thing too. A lot of people say, I don't know how to write. And that's why we can come to your academy and you'll teach, so that's so wonderful. So great.
Not only do we teach, but we've started something since even what you're reading. We started the MarkVictorHansenLibrary.com.
Uh-huh.
It's called Library. It's actually a publishing house, and we ghost write books for people. We find out what your ideas are, what the principles are that you believe, what the philosophy is that you have, what you want to communicate. Because everyone, listen, people, you've got a story.
Yes.
What do you talk about when you're having a drink with your friend, a glass of wine, if you drink that, or water, or Perrier, whatever? I don't care. Yeah. I'm not trying to push booze. I'm saying, right, everybody's got this story. And what we do is our company helps bring it out, and then we publish it, whether it's just for you and your family members, or the legacy, or your future generations. I've often said, I'd love to know what my great-great-great-grandparents said. I don't know anything except their birth date and death and the dash between. And they obviously were smart. Forgive me for bragging a little bit.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that they had raw intelligence as farmers and people back in Denmark. And I'm 100% Danish based on 23andMe. So I'm going to say that. And the point is, I'm sure your Indian heritage was pretty much stuck in northern India, not stuck, but lived in northern India, because everyone used to walk. They didn't have horses, they didn't have cars, they didn't have airplanes.
Yeah.
So, but wouldn't it be nice to know what they did? And so we got to start that generational stuff right now. And that's why we started the MarkVictorHansenLibrary.com. We're going to help everyone get their book. If we have to write it, we pull it out, write up what you think, or fictionalize it. There's a lot of people pushing the edge of the envelope. We're helping the guy with Reebok. We're helping the lady with Purdue Chicken that does 22 million chickens a week. We just finished the books with a guy with DocuSign. We're finishing it, and she came up with the title Signature of Trust. So we want people to have their story. And like what you said, we're all here to serve. And the big guy said, serve the greatest amongst you is servant of all. We want to serve in unique ways that no one's ever thought of before. So I am so utterly thankful, positively appreciative that you'd say such things.
No, definitely. I mean, you are the epitome of really what you have given to the globe, not just USA. I mean, all around the globe. That's so good, because books are who we are, and the books really form our opinions. It's the people we associate and the books we read. I mean, so that's so important. I would like to take you to another one. If you were to write another book tomorrow, what would be the title of that?
She didn't want me to, I got to tell you though. So the first story in here, because we do only books that are totally unique. And the first story in here is about the fable of Michaela, because America doesn't have any fables, and it's wonderful. It's touching, but we've got the top agent in Hollywood read it and say, oh my gosh, this is going to be bigger than Harry Potter. So ask Crystal to expand it. So I'm going to let her talk to that now, because you want to talk about a big book. Oh,
I love it. And you never told me to say that. I just wrote that question in my whole thing.
That's amazing, because we're both so excited about this, Vinney. So Mark and I decided to start our book, kind of the prologue with the fable. And I said, I'll take a stab at it. And I started writing and I couldn't stop. We decided to make the fable. Oh gosh.
Sorry, we didn't shut off the phone. Apologies. Yeah, we started to do it as a fable back and forth. And then while she's shutting that off, then she was writing it so blissfully, so elegantly, so succinctly. I said, no, you just write that and we'll write the rest of the book together.
Right. No. So I just ended up writing the fable, and then we wrote the rest of the book together. But Mark looked at it and started crying. He's like, this is so beautiful. And then we started having this reaction from people all over, Vinney. I mean, grown men on podcasts would say, I read this book and I read that fable and I've never cried with a book. And I cried with this. And so it was I think we realized that there was something there. We just kept getting more and more comments about it. And
is the book published already? Because I cry a lot when I watch television shows.
Right.
My wife is fine.
It's the beginning of this. It's just the beginning, but I've taken the fable. So people were responding so well to that we had a Hollywood guy who was he's a director. He worked on Peanut Butter Falcon, a bunch of other things. But anyhow, he said this needs to be made into a movie. This was he was so touched by it. So I have written the long version of the Fable of Michaela. I'm super excited. We're going to publish it through our
Congratulations.
And we are shopping it out there as a movie. He's got it out there, and we're getting some really great interest right now. So it's going to be really exciting. So
love to watch that. And God bless
you. Get invited as a VIP in the red carpet, you and your wife. That's my promise to you, because you're our new best friend.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark and Crystal. It's such a pleasure. But let's go a little bit further. I would say, give us maybe some, everybody who likes to understand, right? You are very successful, but what were some of the pitfalls? If you had to change again, what would you change? And maybe even write double the size of more books.
So, by the way, first of all, we love the question. So, because you're going to ask yourself, ask others, and ask God. I tried to be Bucky Fuller. I built the Wall Street. I was in New York City. Built the Wall Street Racket Club, Botanical Gardens, aviaries. Bad news for me. I was building out of plastic at exactly the wrong time, 1973 and 74, and I'm booming $2 million a year. Today, that's like 20 million. And I thought, I am a kid, man. I'm a 20-something. I got everything moving. And suddenly we had an oil embargo, as you may remember, and I crashed. I went bankrupt so fast because Monsanto wouldn't give me any more stuff. I was buying $40,000 worth of product a month. I thought that was big. And they said, you're out of business, kid. So I checked a book out of the library, the world's biggest library in New York, public library. How to go bankrupt by yourself. Now, I can joke about it today, but I wanted to kill myself because I thought I was a schmo. I thought my self-worth and net worth were the same. Everybody out there, if you're going to be in the money game, you need to understand it pulsates, like Vinney was saying a minute ago. There is no, I don't care if your name's Elon Musk, it doesn't go straight up. I mean, he almost lost it all 3 years ago, and now he's the richest man in the world. So
totally. And 2007, 8, and 9, how many people lost
everything?
Real estate and everything. Yes.
But luckily, I prayed to God and said, okay, God, what do you want me to do? And God did the opposite of what I expected. He said, what do you want to do? And I said, are you sure you're talking to me? I want to talk to people that care about things that matter, that would make a life-changing difference. And so now I know I want to be a professional speaker. I go to my 3 roommates. I'm living in Hicksville, Long Island, New York, literally. And I'm so broke, I'm living in a sleeping bag in front of another guy's room, right, for $100 a month. So it was some people go, oh, you've always been rich and successful. You're Mark Victor Hansen. You don't do no wrong. No, we both had lots of ups.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't mind doing this because it's important, because the line, in the first major story in the Bible is what you meant for my harm, God meant for my good. I mean, I didn't know a bankruptcy was going to catapult me to where I got it.
Yes.
I go to my roommates and I say, boys, you know anyone that's young, that's not a Broadway star, not a celebrity? I got to ask you guys, is there anyone young that I can relate to that's not a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer that is speaking? And the guy said, yeah, he's older than you by a little bit, but he's out in Hopog, Long Island, New York. Well, and by the way, here's my ticket. You use my ticket. Just tell me your name. A miracle, because I asked. I get out there, there's 500 people, and this is the worst real estate market in the world. Where our interest rate's going up now, but back then it was 28%, so nothing was moved.
28%?
28. So everything was frozen, but this guy, Chip Collins, who ultimately became my mastermind partner, best friend, but it was a mind blower. I asked him after he's done, he wowed that audience. I go and I say, can I buy your lunch? Please let me ask you some questions. He said, what do you want, kid? I said, I want to do what you're doing. He said, get out of here. 1 in 1,000, you're going to make it. I mean, he wasn't supportive one speck, not as little as my thumbnail. So we talk. He says, okay, if you stay out of real estate, I own the 5 boroughs of New York and I'm doing well. I'll tell you how to do it, but you do life insurance. You'll knock on 10 doors. One will say yes. Well, the 10th door at 6:30 at night, there's no secretaries. I get to this office and I ask this guy named Tony, he's bigger than the table we're on in front of us. He was a big, he and I had a wonderful relation. I got 9 rejections. The 10th guy, Tony, says,
Kept
look, Mark,
asking.
I'm the number one guy in the number one insurance company in the world. And I want you to know, here's a directory to all the guys. I'm Big Tony. You tell them they got to hire you or they got to talk to me. You got it? I go, yes, sir. Well, I did 1,000. There's only Tony Robbins and I are the only 2 guys that did 1,000 talks a year the first 3 years because we were willing to work.
Wow.
Right? And then people kept saying, they asked me, said, do you have that in a book? I got to bring it to my wife or my kids or my employees or my staff or sales force. And so I did a little self-published book, Stand Up, Speak Out, and Win. And I sold 20,000 copies in a year at $10 each. That's $200,000. I'm back. And
hold on, in the platform, I saw that somewhere you said, right, when all this 149 publishers didn't want to publish or something. Tell me more about that, right?
Yeah, well, that's way forward. That's
way before. Okay.
Yeah, Jack and I got together at the Mandala Foundation.
I see.
He loved that I could tell stories and I could sell product because I learned it from Cabot Robert, who taught Zig Ziglar and myself and everybody.
Oh, Zig Ziglar. Oh my gosh. I worshipped him too, because see you at the top, see you over the top, everything. I grew up with, learned. I'll be 70 this year, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Great.
You look dynamite.
You look amazing, Vinney.
By the way, old people are looking younger and younger.
Well, it's a little bit of the makeup lady doing my mustache, but otherwise it's all fine. My hair are black, actually. My dad also passed at 88 and he was black hair. He never got into gray. And then in my life also, I say that to everybody. I tell my kids, our kids are 38 now and 35, Monica, Neil and Monica. That's our company, Monil. Monica and Neil put together. So all our company's names are built on Monil legacy kind of thing.
That's so cute.
Anyway, but the thing is, I always tell everybody, every birthday say you're 1 year younger.
Yeah.
1 year younger. So at 50, I started saying I'm going backward. So I'll be 30 in August.
And you look it. Vinney, you're so fun. I love this. I love this podcast. You're hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been so much pleasure. It's been my privilege to have you, really. And I'm so thankful you accepted the invitation. And thanks to especially great friend Ken Wall, Ken Wall, and also Walter, amazing people, and they're bringing so much joy in my life. I just met Michael Sheen also, and then I'll be speaking also at Orlando at the conference at their summit, 100 Millionaires Summit. Maybe they might be able to get you in there. We would love to hear you there. That'll be amazing. That's in October. So Walter was mentioning.
Oh, don't send us an invite. We'd love to at least invite it. Whether we can put it in our calendar or not is a whole different issue.
Oh, no, that's so wonderful. I just wanted to ask you again, what piece of advice would you give somebody who is so afraid to write a book?
It's really about trusting yourself and taking the first step and understanding it's not about perfection. It's about your own story.
I love it.
Everybody has so much value in their life and they don't recognize it, Vinney, until you start writing it down. It's not until you start writing your story, you start to see the hero of your story is really you. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing, even if you never put that book out there or shared it with anyone, which would be a shame, it would give you so much growth. It's probably the thing that will help you grow more than anything in your life is to write your own story, because that's when you see who you really are and you see the potential of all you can be. And that's really what we're doing. We're extracting the heroes out of everyone and really highlighting them and holding them up and saying, this is who you can be as you go forward. It's such a beautiful thing. And do you have anything you want to add?
I did write a book called You Have a Book in You that'll get you into all the stuff we're talking about. And it's important. So that I start with that book with 101 reasons you have to write a book. But starting with, you got to have self-awareness, to have self-expression, to have self-mastery, to have self-realization, or you called it self-actualization. It doesn't matter what we called it. It matters that you get in tune with the infinite, so the infinite can get in tune with you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How many great nuggets you have shared with the audience. And I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for really hanging out, and love to, if I'm in Scottsdale or Arizona or Newport Beach, you live in I'm near San Francisco in Black Hawk. That's where I live. Yeah, we've been 42 years. We've been married 42 years. My lovely wife, Kanchan, she's gone. Otherwise, I was going to ask her to come and say hi to you also, because I have studio in my home. Always 40 years. I've been working from my home always, and please come and visit us. We would love, if you're coming in the Bay Area, and we'd love to invite you to our humble home in Black Hawk. And, it'll be terrific. How can people reach you? How can people reach you?
So we want everyone to get a copy of the book. And you've already said that, Ask the Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny, because you've got destiny. In this book, if you'll go over it with somebody else, your mastermind partner, your church mate, temple, ashram, mosque, I don't care where, go through all the questions. You'll find out who you are and what your destiny code is. And then go to askthebookclub.com, and you're going to get to talk to Chris and I. Askthebookclub.com. We want to chat with everybody literally around the world. And we're very blessed, as you said, to have a world outreach.
Right. And when you go to askthebookclub.com, Vinney, we've just put together a free webinar. We want everybody to really understand the asking journey and take a deeper dive. So we're going to send you a free invitation to that free webinar. So
how wonderful.
Yeah, so
wonderful. Please do. I'm going to look into the folder you gave me. If the links are there, we'll be sure to put them under the podcast and everything. We'll do it. And thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure having you. And hi guys, if you really enjoyed the show today, go ahead and give us 5-star reviews on iTunes. Remember, when we give the written reviews, I read every single one. And, that way we can bring great personalities like Crystal and Mark Victor Hansen and other great friends who can really come and change the world. Because, see, we can change the world. We can change ourselves, and we can change people and give the positive vibes to everybody. See you next time.